Chapter 13 Don't Go Swimming in the River. Time has never been kind to a stranger. When I was younger, I couldn't stand to wear a watch. It would never fail, no matter what I was doing, working, playing, or just walking along. Time would move along so slow. My first job, I think I looked at my watch 1,000 times an hour. After about 2 days of this, I decided to leave the watch at home. Now that I am older, time has magically sped up, moving faster and faster. I feel as if I have less time to do things. I still look at my watch more than I should, but it's not for the same reasons. It's because I now dread the end of the day. Eyesight is another thing that seems to fade with time. It seems every 4 years or so I am at the doctor, getting a stronger pair of glasses. Even if you have had perfect eyesight, when the time comes, and it will, that you start worrying about if you have enough time to finish your daily tasks. Then look just around the bend, and there will be an old eye doctor holding a pair of eyeglasses, smiling and humming, ready to take that money you made years before. Sadly, the eyesight gods didn't favor me. In fact, I think they cursed me. As grandmother used to say, one would get a charm and the other would get the curse. She would go on to say there has to be a balance, you see. At the time I didn't. I have had glasses for as long as I can remember. I can even recall my first visit. After the eye examination, the doctor patted me on my shoulder, and said, "Take care of them eyes, they're special." I left smiling and thinking, cool, I have special, maybe even magical eyes. Over the years I have had to change eye doctors, quite a bit. According to one eye doctor, my eyes could see and reflect light differently. This was something I could take or leave. I didn't see how it was of a great interest, but apparently it was. After the first appointment with a new doctor, I would get a call from their office. Each time a young lady would ask me if I was a donor, an organ donor, more specifically my eyes, for study. I don't think all of them were bad doctors, but somehow I got the feeling a few of them may have had a basement full of special eyes. Now I used to be an organ donor, but they changed the cards. There is no longer a place to write "Don't take my eyes." Like many, I haven't been nice to my body. I have forgotten to follow the rules, and as time moves forward and faster, and ever faithful to its promise and next tick, I feel the pangs of an old clock. Grandmother wasn't much on superstitions at first. For some time she was a firm believer in coincidences, but as the days and events that piled up after the carnival quickly made her change her mind. Most of these were the things that concerned Lily and her mother. At first, during that summer, I couldn't say grandmother was crazy. But I think events that happened on Red River made her go that way years down the road. Red River had this way of working you, changing you when it was ready to change you. Once I found her scratching her arm on the same place until it would bleed, then she moved to another place. She begins to worry about us, the people she loved. One night I found her rocking back and forth at her old Royal No. 10 typewriter, blood pouring down her arms, typing away. One of the stories that won her an award had blood splatter on it. Life can do some funny things to people. Years later, grandmother sat me down and said I had to poison you kids. It was the only way. Then she would break down in tears, make popcorn, and watch Unsolved Mysteries. So when I was asked was my grandmother crazy, I would say no, Red River just has a way on people sometimes. I thought the Book of Blots played a huge role in some of her behavior. A few moments after we left the carnival and the lights were behind us, we marched home armed with cotton candy and questions. It was that time of year, when this place starts to wake up, breath and moan. The sounds of water moving faster, bats in the trees. Bats were something of an issue on Red River. During the summertime, Mason would carry this smooth white rock, round and flat. He sanded on that rock until it was the right shape and size. It was a little larger than a quarter, a little thicker. Almost aerodynamic in a way. One of his favorite things to do was to go out when the moon was full or damn near it. In later years street lights worked very well. He would give that rock a toss in the air, a bat would see it or home in on it, thinking that round white rock was a tiny insect and follow it down and break its neck on the pavement. Mason would do this over and over until he had a sack full of bats with broken necks. He even had a name for that tiny stone, he called it bat bait. The reason he would do this, as you already know, Mason loved to fish. Red River was full of rumors of catfish the size of trucks. Once a scuba diver had to swim down and check the bottom part of the dam. He came up in a flash, claiming he went into one of the old houses that was underwater. When he made it back to the door, all he saw was a eye of a catfish covering up the front door to the house that was underwater. From then on, you would hear wild fisherman stories. One involved a boy and his dad. They claimed there was so much pull on the line, they had to tie the fishing line to the trailer hitch of the truck and pull it out. There were even pictures of that bad boy, so they knew they were in there. Mason had a plan and a thought. Something like that must be eating good. Between smaller fish, maybe a body or two, Mason thought the larger fish would swim to the top of the water at night, and dangle its whiskers on top of the water. The bats would think there were insects on the water, thinking they was about to get a meal, they would fly right into the catfish's mouth. So the way Mason figured, if they had a taste for bats, then he should be able to catch one with a bat. Back when we were kids, it was sound logic. Now he would take 4 large hooks he got for a dime apiece, and tie them together to make this grappling hook looking thing, which he then inserted into the bat's mouth, and hook it right in the back. Now mind you, he never caught a fish the size of a truck, but something would gobble up that bat that was on the hook. Now people have went missing on Red River, whole families and fishermen. The story would always be the same. When the game warden or the state police would come by, they would ask us if we had seen the people in the pictures and we would say no, and ask what happened. They would tell us that this family pulled off on one of the many pull-off places along the river. They would be out there for a little fishing, swimming and drinking. Days later they would get a report of an abandoned car. When they came out to tow the car or investigate, they would find the people's camping stuff, fishing rods, and in most cases the fire would still be warm. There was always a lot of guess, kidnapping or even mass suicide, but they never found any bodies. There is a unspoken rule on Red River. Don't go swimming in the river.